We will clean up and start wrapping up the cars, and I will move in the beach buggy into this vehicle test map. So we are just gonna go into the content browser here and choose the player, vehicles and blueprints. So we have the off-road car. So this one, just gonna move it in here and we get up so we can use and play around with this one as well. So here we have the off-road car, and here we have the sports car. I can remove the upside down car. Just gonna move my pawn here so that we can choose either or. The buggy isn't operational yet because we can't really interact with it. And why is that? So if we click it, we don't have the interact that we do have in our sports car because it's in the child. A little bit awkward, I must say, but we could have potentially several different things happening on interact. So in this particular case, I'm deeming it okay to have this code in the child. Otherwise, it would probably be better to have all these things in the parent, so when we do change things, it propagates to all children. So this entire structure here is a little bit awkward. Copying this, going into the off-road car, pasting it. I want it below here, so I want these above. I'm doing a comment box here. Interacting with vehicle to possess it and make it the controlled pawn. There we go. So the pickup range is 0. We need to deal with this really soon because we're hard coding the values here. So in a very soonish video, we'll centralize the data here, the player data, because this can't stay like this. But for now, we're having a pickup range of 200. Compiling and seeing if everything is correct. I'm just not gonna test it directly because I realized that I didn't tweak the exit points. So looking at the off-road car, we can click on the exit point here and just choose a better one. I'm pushing it out, let's say 160 and maybe 80 up, maybe even 90 if it would be turned upside down. It's okay, 80. We're going 80. The left hand side would be the same, so we have 160, 80. So that would be minus 160, 80 up, not minus 80. There we go. And now we can test it. Mounting it. I can drive it. Cool. I can exit it. I'm exiting to the left side correctly, facing the direction of the vehicle. And I can enter this one. Cool. So wrapping up this one, I think it would be cool if we could actually colorize the cars a little bit. So a final little touch to the cars. So we need to venture into the material of the cars. Where could those be? Vehicles, road cars, sports car materials, sports car material. Do we have materials for the wheels? So these are just these are MI material instances, so they are referencing to a material master. I can hover over the main, for example. I can see that the master, the parent there in the middle, states M sports car. So we're going into the materials M sports car. It's this one. So opening up this one. This is a material for those of you that haven't seen it before. It's very, very nice and tidy because 5.1 brought us these reroute nodes, so we can make some really nice, clean materials nowadays. So that's good. And the one we're after is base color. That's like the main color of the material. I will not go in depth with the entire material structure here. We will just alter so we can change the base color, because right now we can't. So we want a different color. So I'm holding down 3, the number 3, and left clicking. I'm getting a parameter here, or material constant, a 3 vector. I'm right clicking it and converting it to a parameter, and naming it to something that we could tweak. I'm thinking about color variation. Color variation. Here we go. And we'll make it. We'll make our cars Ferrari red. So 1. It's not the Ferrari red, but we're just going with a red. So this one needs to be hooked into the base color here. A lot of things is going on here, and we don't want to mess with them. We just want to add extra. So not add, we want to multiply. And I got this node by holding down M, click. So I'm multiplying, and with this one, and then this one. So these two are multiplied, but I don't want to multiply the entire texture, because that is everything. That's the lights and the exhausts and everything. I only want to multiply with red on the coating. So we will use something here. So we have a lot of outputs here, and one of them is the metal paint mask. So all the others are also interesting, obviously, but metal paint mask is a clue that, well, it's the metal. So we'll just add red to the metal parts. And we have one here. So this is the metal paint mask. So I'm copying and pasting that one. And then we want to kind of lerp. So if it's not metal, then we want to just continue. But if it is metal, then we want to add this. So we want this lerp as well. So I'm just, we could right click and add the lerp, but it's right here. So I'm clicking on this one, copy, paste. So the metal will drive this lerp. It's an interpolation between black and white in this case. If there's blackness in this image of the metal paint mask, or if it's whiteness. So we're going in, and I know for a fact that this one needs to be B, and this one needs to be A. And then we hook it up into the base color here. And then it's good to have it in the correct place, like this. It didn't become so much better. We're doing it like this. We're doing it like this. And then I'm just gonna save it. It's applying it to the game world. And now our car and our off-road is red. That is beautiful. It's a really beautiful red. Proud of myself. And you should be proud of yourself. So we have this color variation. So that one is now exposed. So if I'm clicking on this one, I'm going into the blueprint of the CBP sports car. So clicking on the mesh here, we can see that it holds this MI sports car body. So if we surf to that one, I'm clicking on this folder to just find it. And clicking it up, we can see that we should now have this one, color variation. And we can also see here that we have a file structure here of base colors. We should actually add it to the base color. So going back to the material, the master material, M, we can click this color variation, and here in the group, push it up a little bit, here in the group we have none, so we're choosing base color and applying. So by choosing base color, it popped up here. So here we have the color variation. So venturing to the sports car, the character blueprint sports car, and we're actually going into the construction script of the sports car. But we're in a child, so we're right clicking and choosing add call to parent function. The parent does not have any scripts in the construction script, but it might have in the future. So this is a precaution, so we don't mess with stuff for our future selves. And now we'll create a reference to the material, so we can start changing it. And we therefore take the mesh here and drag it out, because the mesh is the holder of the material. And from the mesh we drag out from the data pin and write create dynamic material instance to enable us for changing it. The element index here is important because this particular mesh holds various materials. So these are the indexes. So 0, 1, 2. So this is the hull that we're after. So material index 2. And we could let's just I'm thinking now, yeah, let's do it. So let's promote this one to a variable, so we just have it. If we would prefer to use it elsewhere, naming it dynamat, not with a little extra sign there, dynamic material. And from this one we drag out, and we want to set this value that we exposed in the material, and it was a vector. It was a 3 vector. So set a vector parameter value. Set vector parameter value. And what was the name of it? Well, we named it color variation. So this is really important that it's the same. So I'm copying this name and going back to the sports car and entering this name here. And this is actually the color that we will on construction change the car value to. So we're right clicking here and promoting this to a variable and naming it color, and clicking this one, instance editable. Click that one, compile it, and here we can change our color. Let's make it red. like we did in the material, but now we're basically overriding the red. So we have the color red now going in here, and if we take a look at the car here, nothing happened because it's still red, but a lot of things actually did happen. So now we have this color here exposed, so we can click this one and we can change it to whatever color we want. So now I want a green car, and clicking this one, and I'm copying this one, and this car I want to be pink. This is super cool. So now we can make a roster of different cars exposed for us. All right, that almost wraps it up. Should we take a look at this one, because regrettably it's a little bit different. So changing, because this one is red now and we have no possibilities to change this because we did it in the child. Why did I do it in the child and not in the parent? Because they have different setups. So if I'm going and checking into the off-road car, we can see here that it has a mesh and a body, because the mesh is only the suspensions, because this one is set up differently. So we need to deal with that. So moving into the construction script, it will be a little bit more just to attack all the different spots that we apply the color. So we can start by grabbing this. I'm actually gonna ignore this setting of the variable for the buggy. So I'm just grabbing this one and this one, copying, going into the off-road car. Again, we don't know if we'll in the future hold stuff in the parent construction script, so I'm adding a call to parent function. Like this. And now we need to make several different changes, so we'll use a flow control called a sequence. So I held down S and left clicked to get the sequence. So first we'll attack the we can take the body first. So I'm grabbing this body, the mesh here, the static mesh, and hooking it in to the target. And the first one is actually 2. So we will change that one. We need a parameter for the color. So I'm gonna right click on the color that I copied and create a variable. And this variable I'll make instance editable. So color, and change it to something more prominent, green. Changing it to green, so the buggy will be green. Compiling. It doesn't have a target because it's this one, so I'm hooking in this target. Now we have changed one part of the buggy. We can take a look. There we go. One part is changed, but we have the suspensions being red here and the HUD being red as well. So we'll continue. We need a new one and a new one of these. So I'm copying these two. Copy paste. So the next one is also the body, and that is slot number 3, and it will hold the same color. And that was the HUD, I thought, but maybe I didn't compile. I didn't hook it in. So hooking it in from this flow control sequencer, like this. And lastly, the suspensions. I'm going into the off-road car, copying these again, copy paste. Again, it's the same color. So. And we need another pin here in the sequence, so I'm adding it, another pin. And the target is not the body, it's the mesh, the mesh is the holder of the suspensions. So I'm bringing the mesh and hooking that one in. And it's not element 3, I think it's element 0 on the mesh. So it's basically, again, if we don't remember, it's this one. The suspensions have some color values there that we need to address. So I think that's it. Looking at it now, we can see those are green. So there we go. And now we have the opportunity to change, to have different off-road vehicles as well with different colors. So we have a blue version. Nice. So that is it. So now we can wrap up the cars and move on a little bit with our life. Over and out. See you in the next one. Live long and prosper.